And we're back. Welcome back to Out of the Rut. I'm Xavier.
And this is Ron.
And we're excited to have you guys back. This is our first episode recording since started publishing episodes, which is kind of dope. Thank you to everyone who's given us a listen so far. I think as of right now, we have 120 listeners, which is about 120 more than I think we were expecting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Honestly, this was all kind of stemmed from the idea of just wanting to help people and help ourselves. So the fact that there are people listening and people who actually give a shit is kind of cool.
Yeah, it is.
Kind of cool.
You know what one really got me, though?
What?
The Saudi Arabia one.
Yo, yeah, randomly Saudi Arabia. It looked like Texas had a couple people too, which I don't know if you know anybody in Texas. I
know one person in Texas.
Yeah, I don't. So I wasn't sure if through all of our kind of social media pushing, if maybe someone we knew from Texas hit it up, but it's still kind of a cool thing. Shout out to obviously all of our friends in Illinois that we were able to kind of help get us jump started. The people I know from Washington, the people Ron knows and Billy knows, obviously you guys have been a huge support. So thank you. And if you guys want to contribute to the podcast, whether it be stories of yourselves in rut or stories of yourselves in ruts or job industries that you're interested in us pursuing, I'm just going to plug this up front. Reach out to us at OutoftheRut@yahoo.com. We definitely want to establish a community, like I said in that first episode or that trailer, where we want to hear from you guys and solve your guys' problems, or at least give you our hot takes on your problems specifically. But also, if you're listening to this and you're a new listener, welcome. Don't forget to, follow, leave a comment, give us a rating, help the algorithm out. Shamelessly, plugging, further stuff here. But Ron, how are you doing today, man? Let's do a little wellness check.
Wellness checks.
How are you, Home Slice?
No, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm still in awe that we've actually started dropping the episodes, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just seeing it, the movement on it and people coming to me, at work, people are listening. I have my friends who are texting me and they're just I listened to the podcast, man. It sounded good.
Yeah.
And I'm just are you just saying this because you're my friend, or you actually really enjoy it, right?
Yeah, I had that same thought too, because I've had that exact same experience where people have been coming to me and be like, yeah, this is a really cool concept, really interesting. And I'm just like, you know what? Even if you're just inflating my ego, I don't care. Yeah, I'll just take it.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I need this right now.
Yeah. I need to know that this isn't the worst fucking thing ever.
Yeah, man. Because I'm still having trouble getting over the sound of my own voice on a recording.
Yeah,
that's the challenging part.
Definitely taking some getting used to. That is for shizzle, my man.
Yeah.
But it's been kind of cool to see the outreach of people who are like, hey, I really love to talk about my job or what I do, and what I do is cool, or I hate what I do and I would love to talk about that. I've had a fair amount of people reach out to us about that, so it's kind of cool to see. Just to see kind of the general excitement. This is a little bit of a spoiler alert, but we brought on a social media person, which is kind of cool. I think by the time this episode drops, she'll be pretty well established with us right now. And we brought a sound engineer guy, on who's hopefully going to start making our sounds, making our voices sound a little bit better.
Hopefully.
Because for those who don't know, I've been self-teaching myself this as we've gone along. So if you listen to those first couple episodes,
you've been doing good, man. You've been doing really good doing that, because that is something I would not have been able to do.
It's definitely been the barrier to entry for me as getting this project started of do I really want to do this, because I don't know if I'm good at this or could ever get good at this. But you eventually hit that wall where you're like, you know what, it's gonna sound like shit, but that's the growing part,
right? Yeah. And just make it sound better each time, work on it a little bit.
Yeah. So hopefully, with the addition of our audio engineer guy, I won't spoil his name yet, because I think we'll do a social post and we'll do an episode with them on them, so they'll get to introduce themselves. But yeah, it's excited to get the interest and stuff. But
that's the cool idea in itself, bringing on audio engineers and social media people.
I know. I was like, holy crap! We're already growing our little team, man. It's so exciting,
which is super cool.
Yeah. I've gotten hit up by random people I was not expecting to that decided to give it a listen to from when I was a wee boy. Yeah. People I went to school with, or people teachers and stuff like that are like, yeah, it's been so great to hear your voice, and what you're talking about is so cool. And I'm like, dude, that's dope. Yeah. Inflate my ego all day. Right. I need it.
Yeah. I'm still this new equipment. I know nobody can see it, but like this is cool stuff.
I know, dude. It makes me so giddy.
Like, yeah, it's like the little arm things that you like connect to the table and you just get to chill and don't have to move it around or nothing.
Yeah,
like,
you could lean back and you just like, you just set it and forget it.
Yeah, dude. Like, I don't even feel like I'm like talking through a mic right now.
I know.
I'm just talking to you, drinking some coffee.
We're just a couple of bros vibing and just drinking some coffee. And I should probably address the elephant in the room. Obviously, Billy is not here with us today. Unfortunately, he had to get some work done. He had to do his big boy job and couldn't play around with us today. But he'll be back, I'm sure, sooner than later. And, laying down some sick vocalizations with us like he always does. Yeah. But for today, we're rocking out another Rut Reads Reddit episode.
Sounds like a tongue twister. Say that 5 times fast.
I know. I always have to like really think about it before I said it. Maybe eventually we'll come up with a less tongue twister of a name. But for now,
I read the post that you guys sent me, and I was like, Rut Reads Reddit. I was like, I felt like Scooby Doo saying it.
It does. It really does feel like a Scooby Doo dialogue bit. So we'll find, if you know what, this is great. If you have a better name for what we should call these episodes, you should leave a comment. Leave it in the comments, leave us an email or something and just say, hey, that Rut Reads Reddit sucks. This is what you should call it. And we'll more than likely start calling it that. We are open to
suggestions.
Always. Always. But we're going to be reading some Reddit stories. We're going to be talking about them. We're going to see if we can help some people, help ourselves, help you maybe. And then maybe, along the way, find ourselves into deeper bonds of friendship, because friendship is what makes the world go round.
Yes. Well, friendship and coffee.
Yes. Definitely coffee. Definitely. Which I left mine across the room, so I am going to awkwardly get up and grab that.
I'll grab it for you. It's right here. Oh, it's right there. Okay.
Just a little out of reach. Yeah, there we go. I got my coffee and my water because caffeine right into the bloodstream. That's how I get through my day.
Oh, I think that's how majority of us do.
Beautiful. All right. So, Ron and I, we both pulled some Reddit stories up. Ron, would you like to start or would you like me to start?
Yeah, I could start, man.
Dude, kick us off, buddy.
I'm going to try to read. So.
Hey, you work on your literacy. Let's go.
Yeah, right. All right, so this one is titled, I'm 29 and I feel like I already missed the shot.
Damn.
Yeah, that's tough already. I feel that. So I'm 29. I live in a small apartment I hate. Work a job I'm not passionate about, and haven't been in a real relationship in 5 years. I used to be ambitious. Oh, it's tough already.
Yeah.
I thought I'd be doing more or something creative, maybe film or writing. I used to write every night. I was a talented one in high school. Everyone thought I'd make something of myself. Now I work in logistics. I wake up, answer emails, go to lunch, go home, doom scroll.
Join the club.
Yep. Microwave dinner, sleep. Every day feels like I'm just buying time. I'm not depressed. I don't think. I'm just numb. Like I'm stuck on I'm stuck on a moving walkway I never chose to be on. Okay. I tried to get back into writing recently, but I couldn't even finish a paragraph. I don't feel anything when I write now. Like all that creative energy dried up. I keep thinking, if I haven't figured it out by now, maybe it just wasn't meant to be. Anyway, just venting. I don't even know what I want from this post. Maybe just to know someone feels it too.
Well, what you got is a couple of people on a podcast talking about it, my friend. So you may not have wanted that, but you're going to get that.
You're going to get it.
No, I mean, this is a really common thing in a lot of these deciding to be better subreddit posts. And, I think starting it off with, you had this passion that, eventually or essentially you had to veer away from to get into something else. And now you feel like all your creative juices are flowing or not flowing anymore, rather. And, for one, you're definitely not alone. That's definitely a common thing amongst all of these threads. But I think one of the first things, not to get into the same old stuff of like, do this or do that, or like, branch out and push yourself. Like, don't beat yourself up that you can't get a paragraph down. We have to be inspired by the world around us and what we experience from the outside in. And, maybe maybe working in logistics alone isn't what is creatively fueling you or creative inspiring you or just inspiring that creative part of you. And
I just want to like kind of back it up a little bit. Like, I think this is something that hits a lot more people harder than they realize. Just like the numbness, the waking up, checking out, realizing that you're just existing.
Yeah.
Right. You're just going through the motions. And I think a lot more people are there than they like to admit.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of things that we base like our life off of, right? Like this timeline myth, right? Of like, oh, by the time I'm 30, I should have my career locked in, right? I should have this relationship or this house, this car, these vacations. Like, I just think people set these standards because of what they've seen before. And I just don't think that was another generation, right? That was just something that a different generation had, that the expectation just fell on us, and it creates a lot of pressure, right? Because now we want that. Like, oh, I want to be 30. I want to have the 3 kids, the white picket fence, the car, the wife, the come home dinner cook kind of thing. Every summer we go on vacations here, taking the kids to the baseball game because they're, they got a game or they're on a team or things like that. It's like this whole idea is just, I think it weighs on people a lot.
I agree, and I think this is a good way to start this, because like I also think too that like you see a lot of people once they hit their 30s or in these Reddit posts where they are often comparing themselves to high school, or the expectation that I think high school set them up for, and you have to eventually be realistic with yourself with like these things or these labels that people put on you in high school are kind of just that. They're just labels, and they're kind of arbitrary labels. Like they're people labeling you whether you're going to be successful or not based off of the lens of the world that you currently live in, right? Like, as an example, I come from a very small town in Washington State. My high school was a secondary school that went from 7th through 12th grade. So a lot of grades. We maybe had 1,000 kids in my whole school from 7th through 12th grade, which is our super small school.
That's very small, yeah.
But like something that like I compare this to is like, I was like, how they have like nominations in the yearbook and stuff, like, oh, most likely to what? Most likely to this. It's a really common thing in every yearbook ever. But like I was nominated or like given like most likely to be famous or successful, quote unquote, like in this. And something that like you have to like eventually tell yourself is like there's really no backing behind what those labels mean other than just who you are in that moment to that very small pool of people, and life is going to just subject you to different things and different realities. So to hold yourself to that standard of what people perceived you as at that time is unfair to yourself.
Right.
Like you're setting yourself up to fail because
and to do something that somebody else wants you to do.
Exactly.
Like that's the weird thing. It's like if someone told me like, hey, I really think that you should do this as a career and I don't like it, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be happy doing it. But then why would I hold the expectation like, oh, I need to do this because I need to make them proud of me? Like, I want to be proud of myself first off.
Yeah. So like, don't limit or don't continue to label yourself with whatever labels you were given in high school, or even what like teachers say. Like, you're your own person, and life is going to subject you to variables that you cannot account for in any moment. Right. The economy, politics, like any number of things, the job market. I don't know, any number of things, to where like there could have been a gazillion and one different things as to why you stopped writing and stopped being creative. I think from a creative standpoint, something that you should think about doing is like, if surrounding yourself with creative people, I think often sparks creativity. So like maybe the people within your logistics community aren't the ones that creatively fueling you, but like set yourself up for success by surrounding yourself with creatives. Take a class. Like, obviously we have the luxury of being so close to like Second City and a lot of theater, but like you can take classes at Second City in writing, in musical improv, in whatever, and I think you'd be surprised what sort of stories or what side of creativity really manifests from those experiences. I will say from experience, like, to find creativity or that kind of inspiration from working in a gym was hard too. But, I surrounded myself with media and creatives that I really enjoyed. And I was able to kind of bleed those two things together at various times of like my creative side and my athletic side, And, that's not to say that logistics has zero creativity in it. Right. Like, I'm sure people who are creative work in logistics and love it just fine, but I can't imagine it's the most creative or exciting. Inspiring. Yeah. Like, what kind of story? Like, yeah, dude, I'm going to write a script about a guy who works in logistics. Yeah. Sounds like a great story. Not quite. Yeah.
Can't wait to tune into that one.
I know. Surround yourself with creatives. That would be step one, I think. And then just kind of let the creative juices flow. There's like 12 or 13 different like creative ideas that I've just like kept in the back burner, but haven't really found the opportunity to use. And they were all just from being surrounded by other creative people who were told their stories that I was like, that's cool. I can maybe make something out of that eventually. maybe we'll see, you know?
Right. Yeah. But, I think like one of the things that he said, the part where I tried to write, but I couldn't feel anything. I think that's something that we all experience, like survival mode talking. Like that's survival mode talk. Right?
Yeah.
It's just like, I just have to do it. Right. And if it's like, I don't enjoy it, or I'm not really feeling a spark in this, I'm just doing it to do it.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you know, when it comes to the 9 to 5 grind, right? Like you're going to a job you don't enjoy, you're just doing it because you're going with emotions. So that's something that I think that he's seeing in that way. Also, obviously doing not being inspired, that could be mentally draining.
Yeah.
So that's like another big thing.
Also, forcing yourself to try to be inspired is draining too.
Yeah.
Like you're trying your best to be creative because you know it's in you, but like if you're trying to like force it out of yourself, it's equally draining.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But it's like that's another thing is like creativity, I don't think it vanishes. I think it just gets buried.
Sure.
Right. So you just have to unbury it, you know, step back and realize like what inspired you at the time, like when you were writing.
Yeah. And honestly, I think a really cool exercise for this too is just like start off instead of writing like a story, like a fictional story, or trying to like create like a story arc of something that isn't true to you or didn't happen to you. Like, honestly, a great exercise I think would be to just like write out what happened in your day as it happened. Yeah. Just write it out and see like what type of language you start to use and start to read it. When you read it back, look at it from the lens of like, you know, my day as it was. Is there ways that I can insert moments or insert conflict where there maybe wasn't one, to where it can create, you can create kind of a really compelling story organically through just your everyday life. And I think you'd be surprised of how cool that is to be like, oh, you know what? Like what I perceived to be a really mundane, boring, run of the mill day, I was able to make more exciting just by, you know, writing it all down as is and then like fabricating certain details. You know, that's all really like film writing is. It's taking reality and cranking things up to 11 to where it's very like heightened and very, I don't want to say whimsical, because obviously there's a lot of movies and film and TV shows that delve into like realism, like hyper realism, but like, you know, essentially that's what it is. You're just taking what is familiar to you and heightening it and creating drama around situations that maybe weren't there. And then finding other stories from there, I think will be a lot more easy, you know, but you got to get the reps in, man.
You do. Yeah. And that could be even something easy as like waking up and journaling like 3 things, you know, what's something that you're grateful for?
Sure.
Right. What's something that you're working on or what you have to do today? Right. And then what's something that you're working towards and how are you working on who you're becoming? Right. So you just can take those little things and it could be like a sentence for each one a day. Right.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. And then the next day, maybe try to get a couple extra words, or you could just reflect on it. Like, I was actually able to do this week or last week. Now I could change it up a little bit. Like, let me add something to it, or let me like try something different. Right. And then it's just kind of opening the door to more opportunities. You know, and just in the creative realm, right? Because now you feel like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm writing this, I'm feeling this kind of way about it, I'm accomplishing it. And I feel like right there, it's going to start slowly making that spark get a little bigger.
Yeah, and like if you take the elements of a good story too, right? Like your rising action, your resolution, your conflict, all things like that. Like pretty much everybody's life is just a conglomerate of a bunch of those types of things, right? Like you're setting the stage of what your world is. You have your rising action where the conflict is building. You have your conflict, and then you have your resolution. Like you experience that story, regardless of how small or big, 1,000,001 times a day, right? Like, for instance, like today, Ron and I, we were supposed to interview someone today, but unfortunately they had to bail out, which is totally cool. But it was very last minute. Like, that is your rising action right now, is the build up to this interview where we were communicating with this person. Your conflict happens right when they pull out last minute, and then your resolution is, okay, cool, now we're going to pull some Reddit stories and we're going to chat about those. But like that essentially generally kind of fulfills the whole arc of what a good story makes. And it's like, now when you write that down, embellish some details, get really creative with your words, make it really dramatic. And it's like all of a sudden this really small thing that wasn't a big deal or not the hugest deal for us in the moment, now all of a sudden becomes really compelling to listen to and to watch and to experience. It's like, okay, cool, now we're solving a problem, you know? Like, that would be my hot take.
Yeah.
Write just what happens in your day, and then discover in yourself how to make it more dramatic and more exciting, and how to make it more of a story that you want to listen to versus just what is your everyday life, you know?
Right.
And I think you'd be surprised how many people are willing to like find interest in that or find connection with that. Writing's tough.
It is tough. That was not my best subject in school. I can tell you that.
I was a good writer. I was just really a huge
I was too random. Like obviously when you're writing essays or things like that, papers, it's like there's like a sequence to it. I feel like I would just go on a tangent and I'd just be writing and writing and writing. I'm just like, well, I don't know if this really makes sense, but like my brain enjoyed writing this.
Yeah.
Right. But like it just didn't make sense to people.
You're like, what the fuck is happening? No, I was a good writer, or a decent writer. I wasn't always the best at I was very imaginative, obviously, and I wasn't always the best at translating my ideas to paper because I think I write faster than I write. Right. So I'm writing stuff down as it's happening, and I think in your case, it when people read it back, it's like, okay, what the fuck is happening?
What was wrong in his
there's
brain?
something there, but really can't tell what. But reading, writing, those were my subjects. I was a big English guy, not a quote unquote big English guy. I was just more successful in English than other subjects. But yeah, I totally get where this person's coming from because that creativity does start to fade or start to bury down, like you said. I think that's a good way of putting it. But you just got to grab that shovel, baby, and start digging. It's down there.
It's down there, yeah.
You just got to challenge yourself and find excitement in the mundane and figure out how to make that exciting. And I think whatever story you want to tell will start to write itself at that point.
Yeah. And just try not to, and I think this is the biggest thing is why people lose their passions is they lose their identity in what they were doing, right? Like if you loved writing, but then you stopped writing because you're really busy with work or you're doing this, you're doing that, right? Life just gets ahead of you. When you're not writing, you're not being creative, right? You're not doing the things that made you feel like who you were. I feel like that kind of is what weighs you down, clouds your vision, like makes you feel just not confident in yourself.
Yeah.
And then makes you feel like, I don't know, like what I'm doing here. What am I doing here? I don't feel like myself. Like I don't know what I love to do. And it's because you allowed that to happen. You're day to day, you're getting up, you're working, you're going through the motions. And it's just like, when's the last time you wrote something? When's the last time you thought of a creative idea? Or when's the last time you really drove yourself to do something that you're passionate about? Right. And I think that's a lot of the time people start falling. And the more you fall behind on that, the more it gets buried. Yeah, and I think we get so critical too of what other people's perceptions of this would be when it really doesn't matter. Like in the case of this person, right? Writing scripts and stuff like that. You can write scripts and no one has to read it, right? They could be kind of therapeutic or kind of just be for yourself. And until you get more comfortable getting back into the groove of writing that stuff. And then you could decide for yourself if you want to project something out for people to read or experience and stuff. But there's no reason to get in your own head this early on and be like, oh my God, I couldn't even write a paragraph because it sucked. It's you're the only audience. Exactly. It might suck, but it's as long as it entertains you, that's kind of step one. If it doesn't entertain you, then it probably won't entertain other people. Then hey, you know what? Move on to the next thing. But it's an accomplishment. You broke past that wall, the mental block. Right? Exactly. And then once it starts to entertain you, it's like, okay, cool. Now this is something that I can maybe see putting out into the world for other people to experience. And eventually you'll just stop caring. Eventually you'll be like, you know what, people can love this, hate this, but I did a thing and I could find accomplishment in that, success in that. Just like this podcast. Something I never thought I'd be doing. Yeah. Nothing, let alone something that I'd feel confident enough to put out into the world. Yeah. And what's funny is, I'm not even going to lie, is when you would send it to us to listen to rate it. I didn't listen. I 100% know you didn't do that. I did not. I heard my voice one time and I was like, you know what? Fuck. You're like, fucking it's over. I just told you, hey, just post it, because if you ask me, I'm going to say, no, it's not good. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, let's retake everything we've ever done and just scrap it all. Yeah, I had a hunch that might have been the case. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Billy didn't listen to them too. But I'm just trusting you at this point. And to be honest with you, it's not a bad thing. Or it's not necessarily a negative to not want to listen to yourself talk, because you do get hypercritical. And I had that when I was learning the editing part of all this stuff was just God, I really maybe think we could have done that better. But at the end of the day, you want something organic and you want something authentic and based in reality that doesn't feel so hyper produced. And
if I could tell the listeners anything about our operation, is that it's not overly produced at all. No. The editing is very minimal, and the hot takes that we say that we were like, ooh, that was a little strong. We commit to the bit.
Yeah,
we stand behind the words. That's for sure.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like that's just what we have to do, or else we'll be in that kind of rut. Let's overanalyze everything we're saying, right? If that was the case, we would never drop.
We'd never drop a single one.
We wouldn't. If it was between us three and then the interviewer or the interviewee, like one of us is about to be like, yeah, no, let's do it. Let's redo it.
Let's reschedule, do the whole thing.
And it's like, dude, if we did that, like, if we were worried about what people thought about it, like, we'd never drop an episode.
Exactly.
So that's why I just said, you know what? I don't listen to it. You're editing it.
Especially now that we have our audio engineer guy. I'm like, no, I really don't have to listen to it.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, man, you tell us. You ready to just drop it.
I'm like, yo, Chuck, I trust you, player. You read it and or you listen and do what you're do what you do, man. I'll just trust you.
Right. Dude, that's what I'm doing.
No, for sure. No, that's a great one. Any other hot takes about that one there, Ron, you want to add in?
Yeah. I mean, I know he was saying that he was depressed. Or no, he was not depressed. He was feeling numb. And I think that's different, right? Like a lot of people, I think, get those confused. Like when you're when you're feeling numb, when you just don't feel anything, people confuse that with depression when it's way different. Because when you're numb, you just don't care. Like you're just going through every day, just like whatever, whatever. I think you're not happy, you're not sad, you're not anxious, you're not depressed. You're not angry. You're just nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. I get kind of conflicted because I do think that numbness is a type of depression. Like I think depression and love as like feelings and emotions are complicated because like I don't think there's ever a really clear-cut definition of what love means, right? You can look up the Webster dictionary definition of love, but I think like how you perceive it, how I perceive it, how like the love that I have for my wife, the love that I have for my friends, my family, like it's all different. It's all different. So it's really hard to give a clear-cut definition of what love is because it is so subjective to the individual. Yeah. And I do think depression is kind of that way too. It's like when you say, oh, I don't feel sad, so I'm not depressed, but I'm kind of like, but if you don't feel anything though, I do think that like it is some sort of offshoot of like depression in a way. Yeah. I think it's the closest thing the closest word that you can give to defining that feeling of numbness is a depressive state or a level of depression potentially, because otherwise it's like, what type of adjective or what type of definition or what type of word do you give that feeling other than just like numbness? Because I also think like numbness is another thing that is a little bit subjective. Like, yes, it means you're not feeling anything, but it's kind of impossible to not feel anything at all, in a way, at least I think. But
you have to feel some sort of emotion about something. So
exactly. So like the numbness is
numbness would be like its own kind of pain. Like that's
So I definitely think it's like it's a weird offshoot of depression is if you get that numbness. Because I think like with depression or like with that numbness is just like a complete disregard of yourself and the people around you and like just being completely unaffected by the world around you in both a positive and negative way. You just don't give a shit.
Right.
Which is sometimes probably even more dangerous than being sad is to be numb.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you could fix sad.
You could fix
sad.
It's true. Numbness is a little bit more challenging to fix.
Because you're sad, you could just go impulsive shop or something. That'll help you for a minute. Right? You can do like little things that don't really matter in the long run, but like, that'll fix sadness right there. Or you want to make a bigger long term, start working on your goals or whatever. That's more important, obviously. But like being sad is easy to fix.
Yeah,
you could do it quick. You could do it slow. You could do it however you want. But sad you could change. Numbness is...
And you know what? That's a good point because I do think like with being sad, it comes the idea that there's a solution to being sad because it's like, oh, if I'm sad, I do what makes me happy, right? This makes me sad. I do what makes me happy. Like depression and numbness are a little bit harder because it's like if you're numb, it's like you're not happy. So you don't like if you wanted to feel the opposite of happy, you really don't know what that is. Same with being sad. Same with being angry or frustrated or annoyed or what any other feeling. It's like there's really no opposite to numb to be able to counteract that feeling. So it's sort of just that. It's just being numb.
Yeah. I don't know when I was feeling like quote unquote sad days, but my thing, I'll just go buy some more gym gear.
Yeah,
that made me feel good.
Hit up Lululemon and just buy a new outfit.
Maybe Viore or something. Like I used to love the Rocks brand. Like used to have like these tanks. He probably still does, but they used to sell them at Under Armour.
Oh, dope.
So I overload on those, man. I have like 30 of them.
Yeah, and like just like that, like you're sad, right? But you know something to get you out of that sadness. Yeah, but numbness is like, what the fuck do you do?
Dude? You can't do anything. Like, because you can't buy something that can make you feel good. You can't go get coffee. You can't like go on a trip.
Yeah.
Right? You can't do a lot of things to like take you out of it because you just feel so stuck in it.
It's almost like you have to subject yourself to something you've never experienced before to get out of that numbness because like you don't know what something's going to make you feel like until you do it. And like, you don't know if that might get you out of that numb state or not. It just might be a further continuation of it. And doing something that's familiar to you or something you've already done before isn't going to necessarily get you out of that numbness because you are familiar with the feeling.
It just has to be a complete 180.
Yeah.
Like if you don't work out, start working out, right? If you, I don't know, for some reason had a passion to draw you never did, start drawing, right? Like do something that's going to switch whatever you're doing now.
Do something that's completely out of left field. Completely new.
Change your mindset on all that stuff. Like just do something different.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, it's almost like shocking your nervous system almost in a way of like, this is something completely foreign to me. And it's like, it kind of, I think it has the high potential of just re-sparking feeling into your body just to be able to subject yourself to something you've never experienced before.
If you're feeling like this is something that I learned, and this is like, obviously a lot of people do this, but cold showers, I feel like are so important. One, they're so fucking hard to do when you first start doing them.
Yeah,
you jump in a shower, you turn that shit cold. First 2 seconds, you want to get out, right? But when you're in that moment of that ice cold fucking water hitting you, you can't be sad. You can't be anything. What you are thinking about is, holy fuck, how do I survive this? This is so cold, right? Like all you're thinking about is just, there's nothing going through your mind other than I need to get out of this, right? Like you can't think of anything that's making you sad, depressed, anything.
You just shock your body to the point where that's what real numbness feels like.
Yeah. No, like I mean, there's obviously we've all had times in life where we're just like, I can't get out of this. Like I feel how I feel. You know, and obviously I've always been into fitness, but like I wanted to do other things, right? Because I got so used to it, right? Obviously hitting PRs makes you feel good, right? Like, you know, your physique changing makes you feel good, but like, you need to do something completely different. So I was like, I want to do something different. So what is hard, right? Because I feel like that's something that can really make a difference is doing something that's very fucking hard, but accomplishing it or working towards it. For me, that was like, okay, like I know people who do cold showers. I'm like, I'll try it, right? Like people say it like works mentally, whatever. And whatever, try it, get in. First couple times were fucking hard. Because like obviously like I'm letting the water run cold for like 5 minutes before I get in because I want it to be freezing.
Yo, I have a different approach to cold showers, but I'm curious about the rest of yours. Continue.
Yeah, so I like let that shit get super cold. Now just like get it. Now obviously, I had to play a hype song, right? Like because I'm
hype song. You have the soundtrack of your cold shower. I got my
cold shower soundtrack. Hell yeah, I do. But yeah, I just need to like mentally prepare for it, right? Because the water in my apartment gets so fucking cold.
That
like,
has to be really refreshing. Though, sometimes.
Yeah. Like it's like I've been through a lot of apartments and like some of them they'll get cold, but this is just like holy fuck. I feel like I just jumped in the ocean in the wintertime. Like that's how it feels. But sucks the duration of doing it. But start off with 30 seconds, and then like get to a minute, either 2 minutes. I'll find myself in there for like 5 minutes, dude.
Damn, dude.
But when you get out, you feel like it's hard to explain the feeling. It really is. But you feel good. You feel like one, you just accomplished one of the hardest fucking things you could ever do, right? And two, I don't know, like one, dude, the blood flow once you get out, like you feel like you survived like a shark attack or something. Like that's
I can handle anything.
Yes, yeah.
I can go out to the wilderness and live alone, and I'll be fine.
You'll be fine. You could fight a bear. Like
just fucking you feel clock a bear in the face,
right? Like I can take cold showers. You got nothing on me.
So if you're listening and you want a false sense of confidence, take a cold shower. Nothing gives you the false sense of confidence like freezing cold shower water.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
But no, it works. Like mentally, it makes you feel really good getting out because you accomplish something like that. That's like my whole point. I know we ran on a tangent on that, but
you're good. I like tangents.
Yeah. But
I have to, when I do cold showers, I have to like start off a warm shower. Like I'll do all my showering and shit, and it's like boiling hot because I like my water scalding hot for some reason when I shower. And then like right at the end, I go from like 0 to 10. I go from hot, boom, I hit cold, and I just like sit there, and you lose your. There's that moment of where like you feel like you're running out of air. You're like you take that inhale, and you're like, oh god, can I breathe? But then you start to settle into the cold feeling, and like that to me is like that moment of like serenity. It's like my mind is clear.
Everything's gone.
My body, like any sort of negative or even any emotion at all is sort of just like kind of like rushing through me, and it's just like it's sheer bliss. It's like moment of clarity. But yeah, I got to go from 0 to 10. If I like let it sit cold for too long and like gradually, I talk myself out of it. I'm like, fuck this.
That's why like I'll let it run for a while just to make sure it's freezing when I get in there. I'll play my hype song. I'll start. Boom.
What is your hype song?
I got a few, dude. And like, I got a few.
I know you know them off the top of your head. There's no way I'm not going to ask you about this. What is your go-to cold shower hype song?
All right. This is actually really funny. This is embarrassing, but like,
oh, dude, I love that you brought this up.
So here's one of them is Serotonin. Like, I don't know if you ever heard it. I don't even know how the
who's it by? Serotonin by La Lion.
La Lion, yeah. I would rather have you say that than me.
La Lion. I would pronounce it La Lion.
But like it starts so like, oh shit, all right, yeah.
So
it like gets me in. But I got a few on here.
I definitely feel like the soundtrack to any cold shower is definitely something in like for me at least, definitely something in the metalcore world. I need like something where you're gonna scream a little bit. Yeah. Something by Silverstein or some shit like that, where you're just like, ow. That'd be one of my go-tos, probably something from the Silverstein world. Right. But great first story, but we have more. Ready for the next one?
Oh shit. Yeah. Let's drop it.
Let's freaking do it. Our next one is titled Every 10 Years I Sit Down and Cry About the Man I've Become. I'm Turning 50. Let's dive in. I don't know if anyone else does this, but every time I hit a new decade, 30s, 40s, now 50, I end up sitting alone, reflecting and crying, not just from nostalgia or aging, but because I honestly hate the kind of man I've been. It's like clockwork. I tell myself that this is the year I'll change, that I'll become the kind of man people are proud to know, the kind of man I wish I'd been all along. And every decade I think it's not too late. I can still fix this. Now, here I am at 50, and I'm wondering if maybe this is finally the time I'll actually do it. Maybe this time it sticks. I mean, here's the thing. Absolutely. Like, I almost think there's no way you're ever going to be the exact person you want when you're reflecting, right? Mm-hmm. When you're reflecting on who you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20, 30, whatever, like you're never going to be the exact person you wanted to be.
Right.
Because
you can't predict the challenges that you're going to face in life, right? You don't have a playbook. And I think that's what a lot of people think is they go through life expecting to have this playbook, like, okay, well, this is who I want to be. This is how I want to get there. This is the job I want. This is like how I want everything to go, right? And then if one little mishap, and you could feel like your life was thrown off.
Yeah.
Right. So, or like, maybe it could be you thought you loved a career. You went through that path, went to college, been there for like 15 years, and maybe realized like, no, I don't like it. Mm-hmm. Right. Like, and that's a hard thing. That's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah,
right. Because you put a lot of time and effort into going to that career path or like whatever it is that you're doing. Right. Like
I agree. You have to ask yourself, like, I think I get that you think that this person as an example thinks that they're not the man that they wanted to be. But like, I think the first question is asking yourself, who is the man you want to be first and foremost? And I think that if you're able to reflect on your 30s, 40s and 50s and say, hey, you know what? I made progress into becoming that person overall. I think you're doing the right things. You kind of have to look at your life, I think, from a bird's eye perspective versus like as someone who's in the weeds living your life, right? Because like I think about, I just turned 30 less than a week ago, and like
happy birthday, man!
Oh, thanks, Ron. I appreciate it, buddy.
Like, we were like so in tune about like talking about like the podcast and stuff, like what we were doing, and like you were talking, like everybody was going back and forth. And I realized, I was like, holy shit. We talked about his birthday like so many times, but like so many things were happening. I didn't even say happy birthday. That's a big year, dude.
It is the big 3-0, man. Yeah. And for what it's worth, it is totally okay. I'm not a huge birthday person, never really been, but appreciate it nonetheless. Yeah. But like, I kind of, obviously I'm not 50, so I don't have as many years to be able to reflect on. But, I think that's pretty common when you hit the big milestone decades of to do that reflecting. And I asked myself something similar, was like, did I make the most out of my 20s, or did I become the person, or did I work towards being the person that I want to be in my 20s? And in some ways, no, but in some ways, yeah, too. And I think that looking at it from that bird's eye perspective is your life as a whole. Obviously, your life isn't done, but looking at it from that bird's eye perspective of like, this is what I want my life to be, or who I want to be remembered as, like it is a little bit about baby steps. It's like every 10 years, you're going to find yourself closer to being that person, to where your life is going to mean exactly what you want it to mean, as long as you're working towards those things. So like to be able to be like, 10 years went by and I'm still not that person. It's like, you're probably never going to be that person in just 10 years. Right. 10 years is not a long time.
Yeah. No, it's not. And you think it is. Like when you're like sitting here and you're like, 10 years from now, like like that goes by quick.
It goes by really quick.
And every 10 years goes by faster. From 10 to 20, 20 to 30 goes by a lot faster. And you don't realize it because now you're working, you're doing everyday things. Like you got your routines, like you're just going through life. And it's like, holy shit, like, one day you go to bed at 21, next day you wake up at 30, and you're like hot damn, and a lot of shit happens. And it's similar to the one we talked about before this, is like, your life is an amalgamation of problems that you solve for, and all of those problems that you solve create what is essentially the story of your life. And if that story is propelling you towards the man that you want to be, then that's a good thing. And you're going to keep doing that. Just because you're at 50, I feel like they're sort of looking at their life from the idea of like, if their story ends with them turning 50, right? It's like, that's not where your story's ending. No, I think you just need to close that chapter and open another one.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you're not who you want to be, then okay, this is where this chapter comes in, right? You did the last 49. Right? Like now start doing things that you feel like would make you closer to the person you want to become. Yeah. Right? And not that person you thought you were going to be when you were like 10 years old. And like, by the time I'm 50, I'm going to be this. Like, no, obviously.
I'll be a big old baller.
Yeah. Like every year, your life changes, your mind changes, like your ideas change, like everything changes. Yeah. Right? So I just think that this is your 50th chapter. Yeah. Right? Start.
Which is pretty damn short in most books. I mean, shit, I feel like most books were hitting triple-digit chapters. Maybe you're 50. Like, you're halfway.
Yeah, you're only halfway. Like,
I know. Yeah, this is a Dr. Seuss book, player. You're still got so much. And it's like
the amount of people like in the last like couple years I've met that are 80 plus are just. It gives me so much hope. I'm just like, fuck, and they're in great shape. So it's like, this makes me feel good. Like, this is okay. Like, we got some time here.
Yeah. So keep working towards being the man. I think you probably made more strides towards the man you want to be than you think. You just didn't hit like the huge record of what you thought was like, this is who I want to be exactly. But like every decade you're working towards that. And I think really it's really by the end of your life, do you really get to see it from like that perspective of truly being at the end and being like, hey, you know what? 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, I definitely did everything in my power to be this person and achieved that, regardless if you hit exactly what you were looking to or not,
I just think, like reevaluate your life where you're at, start setting new goals.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is what I want to accomplish by this year. Like, and you can have your 5-year plan, your 10-year plan, but do those daily things, do those monthly things, do those like individual yearly things. Like just start setting yourself up for, the next accomplishment, the next goal to succeed. Like do all those kind of things. So I think like a big thing is like a lot of men don't know how to grieve the gap between like where they are and who they want to be, right? Like who they are, who they want to be. It's like, it's a big gap, right? It's like, oh man, like I'm not him, right? I should have been this guy by now.
Yeah.
And that's one. That hurts, it's like if you're not the guy you want to be, you're just like, fuck, like,
and you surround yourself with people who are those people. It's like shit.
Yeah. No, I think that's just one thing you got to do is just look in the mirror. Right?
Yeah.
Just
Ask yourself and ask yourself what's the most important too, because like I often do think it like if you're looking in the mirror and be like, the man I want to become is a millionaire, or like is this, or like something materialistic, I think you're gonna more than often fall short of that goal, because that's just how life works. But like if you're looking in the mirror and you ask yourself like, hey, what is the man that I want to be, like who is the man that I want to be remembered for, or how do I want to be remembered, or how do I want to be thought of when people think of me? It's like those things I think are going to greatly impact your day to day, and greatly impact your decision making more than like I want to change jobs, or I want to make this much a year by the time I'm 50, I want to make over 100,000 a year. It's like you're putting a lot of faith in not just yourself, which is great, but you're putting a lot of faith into other people too, because you're not the sole decision maker in that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So like
I think a lot of that mindset could be damaging.
I think so too. So if you look in the mirror and you ask yourself like, hey, I want to be remembered as a person who puts himself out there to help people whenever they need it. It's like, that's something that exclusively is your decision to make in your day-to-day life. And you can be that person for people. Same like, if you want to be someone who, I don't know, it could be any number of things, but like make it something that you are solely the decider on, versus setting goals that do rely on other people's decisions to help you achieve.
And just stop doing the time thing.
Yeah, dude,
like just stop
the time
right?
thing,
like,
dude.
Time does not help you heal. Perspective does.
Bars, bro. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Because with time comes perspective. Yeah. Which is how time heals wounds, but it's the perspective.
It's a perspective. It's like how you see it, like how you perceive things.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. Hell yeah, brother. You want to go, or I got another one lined up. The next one I have is a little bit on the longer side, so if you got one to cook.
No, I mean, if you want to jump on one, we can do another one.
I'll read one more. I think I'm going to relate to this one a lot because my wife says I have this problem. The title of this one says, I think I have a savior complex.
A savior complex?
A savior. Have you ever heard of the savior complex?
Like you feel you have to save everybody?
Yeah. You're like, when someone needs help, you're the first one to like throw yourself on the sword, even if it like negatively affects you. You just want to be that person. I definitely consider myself someone who has a little bit of that problem. But let's dive in anyway. It says, I'm starting to realize something about myself, and I'd really love to know if others have gone through this too. I think I have what some people call a savior complex or nurse syndrome. Never heard it called that. I feel a deep, almost uncontrollable urge to help people, especially when they're in crisis or vulnerable. It doesn't matter how well I know them. I feel this impulse to jump in, fix, rescue, give everything I can, and if I don't, I'm flooded with guilt. I do this all the time. I don't expect anything in return. It just feels like if I'm not helping others, I'm useless. I think it traces back to childhood. My mother was very ill, and I was raised with this idea that she was fighting to stay alive for me. I was told consistently to take care of her, that I had to be strong. My grandmother reinforced this too. Take care of your mom, always. That became my identity, even with my pets. I adopted my cat because she had a disfigured face after a car accident, and I thought she might not find another family, but I'll love her anyway. That's the pattern. I'm drawn to the ones who seem broken. Oddly enough, in love, things have changed. I've been through domestic violence. I've dated emotionally unavailable men. My most recent relationship ended because he ghosted me during a depressive episode. And somehow, in love, I've started to see the pattern. Calm it and accept the fact that you cannot save someone who doesn't want to be saved, so I don't lose myself as easily now. I've learned to protect my space, but in friendships, that old compulsion still controls me. I say yes to anything before I've even checked in with myself, and then I feel guilty if I back out like I've betrayed the other person, and I betrayed who I am. I'm willing to endanger myself just to help the others because, to me, it feels right. Has anyone been through this? How do you start unlearning this without losing yourself completely? How do you build a sense of worth that isn't based on being someone else's emotional crutch? Yes, That
is a raw and layered story.
This is a raw and layered story, and it's a very real one. Savior complexes are real. It's something that I can really relate to. I'm the guy that when someone says, "Oh my God, something happened. We need someone to do this." Boom, I'm your boy, dude. I'm like, yo, I'm the one who's acting before he's thinking. And I think that is the downside of a savior complex, is like more often than not, you're not considering anyone's feelings, including your own, when you're going in, other than the person who is in crisis at that moment.
I think a big thing that like drives that is least for me, like I felt like for a long time I was like that, like, when someone needed help or someone needed something or someone needed my time, attention, money, whatever, like I would put myself like, I'd fall on that sword, and I would take, whatever the consequences were of like making sure that they were okay. But I think it like strives from like, cause she said she's been through a lot, right? Like, you watch your mother get sick and like you were forced to take care of her. So you needed to help her.
Yeah.
Right? It was like, but you didn't have that, right? You didn't have that person that was there for you. And I think it kind of like makes you become that, right? Like you start becoming the person you feel like you needed, right? So you're constantly helping people. Like, oh, you want to get them out of the situation because you yourself needed someone to get you out of that situation, to show you that you were loved and cared about. And when you didn't get that, it kind of broke you a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've been there, like I didn't really have the most loving childhood, right? Like I wasn't like, it was a tough household growing up.
Yeah.
So I've done that before where I just like, I didn't feel, I mean, obviously my mom was great, but like she could only do so much.
Yeah.
And it was a tough thing to grow up as a child because you don't understand the world yet. Right. So all you know is like, okay, either negative stuff or bad stuff. And you just look for an escape. Right. So when you get out of that, you become that for other people. Right. You're just like, okay, now I need this. How can I help them get out of this story? Because you relate to it so much, you start sympathizing. You're just like, oh, I hate seeing this person like this. Like I got to make them feel better because I was in that position. You know.
I think the other thing too to think about is like there are good qualities to having a savior complex. Mm-hmm. Like I have a really, this is probably my most like memorable story of when my savior complex really kicked in was when I was in college, because I went to a musical theater college. I was a little dancer boy. Something
I can't say nothing.
Yeah. I was about to say you're new into the dance boy life, baby. You can't talk shit. Yeah. I'm a little dancer boy. I was a little musical theater kid. But when I was in college, I was part of a program, like an inaugural program, where the college that I went to had just started a dance emphasis program within their musical theater conservatory. So I was like among this first class of students to go through this program, which meant there was a lot of growing pains. There was a lot of things changing from year to year because they really had no like. When any new program or any new department opens up, it is kind of trying to figure out what works and what isn't, and how do you fit this program within a lot of other programs that are already very well established. So, that first year, there was a lot of growing pains from year to year, and something that happened right was like the head of the dance emphasis program. I'm going to keep her nameless, but essentially she in my opinion had fired probably one of the best teachers that we had. He was a great tap teacher. I learned a lot from this guy. Really cool, really great performer, was active in the performing scene at the time too, and was very like integrated into the art scene of the environment we were in. So he was a great resource, great teacher, great everything. But they kind of butt heads, the department head and this tap teacher. And we ended up coming back, I think, from like winter break of my sophomore year. We had heard that he was getting fired and that he wasn't going to be our teacher anymore and stuff like that. And everyone in the program hated the idea. They really loved this guy. They were like, no, they're getting rid of one of our best teachers, blah, 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 blah. But it turned into like this, like kind of this, like everyone was just like talking about this being a problem, but no one was really doing anything. And what ended up happening was like I ended up going to like the head of the conservatory program and was like, hey, I have a problem with this. Like I didn't need to, but it was true. The emotions of people I was hearing and the hatred of the experience that people were going to have with this school if this had changed bothered me. So I went to the department head. I went to the dean of the program and was like, hey, this is the decision that was being made, or this is what I'm hearing is happening. I think it's a horrible idea. I think everybody hates it. Here's the reason I hate it. I will drop out. I will drop out. And we're like conservatory programs are pretty small, so they kind of want as many people. They want as many people to continue as possible. But I was like, I will drop out if this guy gets fired because he's arguably one of the best teachers we have. And I think the decision to get rid of him is exclusively emotional and has nothing to do with his merit as a teacher. And I think it's stupid. Which, like, where did I get off as like a sophomore going to the dean of this college being like, yeah, this is fucked up. But like, I had no problem doing that because I felt like I was advocating for myself, but also like primarily advocating for everybody who thought this was a problem. And what was crazy is we got back from winter break And we were in a ballet class with this instructor, the head of our program, and she had kind of she was kind of like laying into us, giving us a lecture of how dare we go behind her back and how dare we say this, like talking us to collectively. And I remember looking around.
The instructor that you like were going to bat for?
No, this was like the department head who had tried to get this guy fired. She was like, yeah, I heard you guys went behind my back and complained about this to where now he's not getting fired now, or like we're keeping him on. And I think that's like pretty much how it went into how disrespectful it was, things like that. And she was like kind of like grilling into everybody in this class. And I was kind of looking around and I was like, I just raised my hand and I was like, no, it was me. I was like, if you want to yell at anybody, yell at me, because I was the one who said something. And like I remember like everybody looking around being like, fuck, like what the fuck? And like she locked eyes with me and it was like, pause. Well, okay then. And like we just like moved on. And I was like, that is to me an example of a savior complex. Like I could have said nothing. Like I don't think anybody really wanted me to say anything, but like I saw that there was a problem and like I fell on the sword. I was like, I was like, cool. I will fall on this sword if it means that it benefits like everyone in this program. And it ended up not mattering because I ended up dropping out at the end of the year anyway. So either way, I still dropped out. But you know what? Like I ended up being pretty close friends with this tap teacher. I ended up living with him for a short time and stuff like that. Really great guy. But he ended up getting pretty much fired the year after I left or whatever. But I think there are definitely good sides to having a savior complex, because it means you're probably not afraid to put yourself out there in the line of fire if it's truly what you think is going to be better for the people you care about, including yourself. Yeah. You know what I mean? I do think subconsciously,
I think there is a line. There's a line. Like that's purpose behind it, right? Like you wanted to make sure that someone who didn't deserve to lose their job didn't lose their job. But obviously, there's like that line where you're like, now you're just exhausting yourself. You're exhausting your resources, your energy, right? All that just to make sure somebody else is like at the level that you expect them to be or would want them to be at. Like the intentions are great, right? But at what cost?
No, it's true. And like there's definitely a line and definitely a wall you want to keep up with, like the types of advocacy you do for others as well as yourself, like. However, I find that more often than not, you're never going to regret standing up to people who are enforcing things that you truly don't believe in or you truly have issues with. Like, even if the result is detrimental, maybe in the short term, like I do think you're going to be able to reflect on that and be like, I'm really happy with that decision I made. Because I'll tell you right now, I think about that every now and then when I have other savior type complex situations where I'm like, did I really need to do that, or did that person? Did I really need to like stand up for that person like I needed to? And like more often than not, I reflect on those moments and I'm like, you know what? Maybe not, but I'm kind of glad I did regardless, because the feelings are valid and the situation's called for it. Like, to have a savior complex, I do think it means you have your heart on your sleeve a little bit. Like you obviously you connect with people emotionally very easily, which again is something you want to be careful with, but also isn't a bad quality either.
Right. Yeah. As long as you don't overdo it on yourself. Yeah. Right. Like I think one of the big things is when you have that, it allows yourself to become this caretaker, and it becomes like your identity. Yeah. Right. So it's not like, okay, I'm willing to help people. It's like, no, who I am is I do this. Right. Yeah. Like, I don't care what I have to go through, what I have to do. It's like this person is like, other people are your priority. Yeah. Right. Like that's a little dangerous, because if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of someone else.
Yeah. It's the airplane thing. You can't put the thing on their heads or on your, the person next to you's head to start breathing when were they defibrillators? I feel so bad. I have no idea what they're called. They're not, I don't think they're defibrillators. I think that's something like that shocks your body. I'm pretty sure.
That's what that is. Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever falls from the ceilings of airplanes. Like, you have to put yours on before you put on someone else. Mask? Yeah. Oh my God. Thank you. Oh my fucking God. I don't know why that was so hard for me to remember.
Why are they putting defibrillators?
Yeah.
The plane starts going down. Honestly, you start putting them on.
We just talked about how this is unedited. I might literally edit that out because of how stupid it sounds, or I'm going to keep it and
they got to know who they're listening to.
They're going to be like, this fucking idiot. I don't know why oxygen mask was such a hard word for me to figure out.
But imagine getting those confused. Good thing you're not a doctor. Yeah, he needs oxygen. Okay, boom,
clear. No. The oxygen mask, but it's the concept of like helping the person next to you before you help yourself. And
but no, and that I think is like what that does is it doesn't allow you to like because you give all this love, right? Like because that's what you're used to. You give this love, you give all this, give yourself to these people, but you begin to get to the point where you don't know how to receive love back.
Yeah.
And that's a dangerous thing because if you like obviously not receiving love and then not loving yourself, like that in itself is just damaging.
because they're not getting anything. Yeah. And like not that you should make decisions because you want something in return, but like you should get some sort of like appreciation, some sort of like reciprocation in the terms of like the appreciation and the loving feelings from those people you decide to help.
Yeah. And then you start chasing it. You start chasing people to help them. Like you start looking for things that you probably shouldn't even be looking for. And then you start looking for these like hopeless people, right? Like, and that's how you end up in bad relationships or like, when you have that one, say sibling or whatever, or like that friend that just constantly just is putting you in a bad spot because they just won't get their shit together because they know they can rely on you to put them back up.
Yeah. And like ask yourself, like really dive deep too, like ask yourself where you think this savior complex stems from. Like where did it begin? You know what I mean? Like, like I think some of mine comes, I would say like my dad has a little bit of a savior complex a little bit where like he was always on the move and doing something and helping people out because like that's what he enjoyed doing. Like we always owned trucks because he says this, he's like I always want to be able to tow someone out of a situation if I need to. Not that I always do or not that I ever really, but like I have the ability if I need to. And it's like it's that concept of like you want to be prepared for anything, and in being prepared for everything for yourself means you're probably prepared to help other people too.
But then if that's all you're thinking about, that's exhausting.
Exactly. And
because
that's where
then you don't
starts
get
to
that
bad.
sense of accomplishment if it doesn't happen. Like, oh, I helped nobody today. Or like nobody needed me, right? Because
like
then you
you're
need that
only-
sense of need, right? Like I feel like it starts becoming a thing where like you constantly put yourself out there to help people. It's like when someone doesn't need you, that just builds so much like anxiety, right? Because then you feel useless.
Yeah, like it definitely cannot be your only source of satisfaction in your life is helping people. Because again, like you said, like I think that's where things start to get a little detrimental to yourself. But I don't think savior complexes are all bad. You just got to be careful with them, and
You just got to know what's good, what's bad,
and you got to be able to like identify for yourself like who are the people who are worth putting yourself out there for. You know what I mean? Like, are they people who are genuinely going to appreciate it, who are going to be like who are going to have a deeper or garnish a deeper level of respect for you, or is it truly going to be like sweet? You helped them out, and they're like, that's it. Fuck you. I'm out. Like I got what I needed from you. I'm done. You know.
And honestly, it sucks to say, but that's how a lot of people are.
Oh my God!
Once they don't need you anymore,
I would make the argument that is probably most people. To be honest with you, like not even just some. It is most people.
Yeah, right. Everybody has an agenda, and it sucks to say, because you would want your family, your friends, and all that, the people you're surrounded by, to want to be around you, just like with unconditionally, right? There shouldn't be like these conditions, like, oh, I know this person's going to be there if I need them. Or like, oh, this person's this person's that. Like, if I'm sad, this person's going to make me laugh. Like, oh, if I'm broke, this person's going to help me pay my bills, right? It's like the idea that you were going to be friends or like be close to someone for that kind of reason it's shitty. Yeah,
because I also I think especially as it pertains to work, you see a lot of that. Like if you're that person with a savior complex within your work life, like what I feel like I've experienced is that like the times where I've really stepped up and I've become that savior in the work setting, more often than not, I'm propelling the image of someone else and not really myself, to where like the person I'm helping is often being now looked at in a much bigger light and getting all this praise, and they're getting all of the benefits of the leveling up or the stepping up that I did, and I myself am not going anywhere and I'm still stuck here. Right. And like those are the people you really need to identify and be like, hey, you know what? You are like, to be honestly, and this is going to be blunt, you're not a person worth helping. Right. If they're not even going to like essentially be any sort of appreciation towards
and then
work.
Not help themselves as you're helping them.
Yeah.
Which
I'm a big collaborative person for that. Like I love giving credit where credit is due. I've been on meetings before where I've had associates give me ideas, right? And I've projected those ideas or moved them up, and everyone's like, Xavier, good idea. That was a really good idea, Xavier, good idea. And I'm like, I need them to know that I was not the one who came up with this idea. Someone on my team did, because like I'm looking good in this meeting because of the idea of someone else who really put themselves out there, who really who had
deserves
this
the credit.
who deserves the credit. Yeah. And if you're not willing to like put yourself out there and really advocate for the people who work for you, and this is kind of more work related or work specific, but like if you're not willing to give the credit to the people on your team for the ideas that you propel forward, then like, to be honest, I don't think you really have business being a manager and being a leader.
Yeah. Lead, right?
Yeah.
You need to lead your people.
Yeah.
Right. You don't need to boss them around. You don't need to tell them what to do. Like if you're not going to be with them doing it, like work with them, don't have them work for you.
Yeah. Right. And if you're that person who like takes credit for people's ideas, not even to be a dick, just to be like, hey, I have this idea, and it propels forward, and you don't give the person that credit. Like, I do think that you are possibly facilitating a very toxic environment for the people that you work with, and that you're going to get less of that input from your team later on.
Right.
Like,
I like that thing that they do in like improv. It's like the yes and thing.
Yeah.
Right. Because if someone gives you an idea that's not perfect, right, but you can also implement it, right? Okay, so let them know that you appreciate the idea. Like, oh yeah. Yes, and we could do this with it, right? So now it felt like more of a collaboration than a like, maybe we'll try something else, right? Because then you shoot someone's idea down. You could do that so many times to the point where like, okay, I'm just not gonna, I'm not gonna put my input in this, or I'm not gonna think of ideas. I'm not gonna be creative, right? Because I just feel like I keep getting shut down.
Yeah. Honestly, when it comes to savior complexes, like they're not all bad. Just definitely identify the people who are worth saving and the people who aren't worth saving.
Yeah. And if there's like any advice, right? And I'm not saying like go this route, but the advice I would take, right? If you have that complex, if you feel like your purpose is to help people, then I think you should go into a field that helps people, right? Be a therapist, be like a health and wellness coach, be a doctor, be even a psychiatrist.
Like, even like firefighting, EMT, like,
police, EMT, like paramedics. Like, do something that's going to make you feel like I'm really helping people and they need me, and it's going to give you purpose behind it, right? So instead of you're just not aimlessly just running around looking for people to save, right? Like, no, now you're doing something that you're passionate about because you love helping people, and there's people who need the help.
Yeah, and I think that's a great way to put it too, because because we talked a little bit about this earlier in episodes before about the therapy field. I think with Mandy we talked about this, where like people go into those fields for the wrong reasons, right? They think, oh, I have trauma, so I'm going to be a therapist so I can help others with trauma, and it's like that's not the greatest reason to get into those fields. Whereas like someone with a savior complex, as an example, like if you truly get satisfaction from helping people genuinely, identify for yourself what is the best method of you helping people, right? Maybe you aren't the most like physically active to where maybe firefighting as a method of helping people may not be the best route for you, but like a less physically taxing field like therapy, you still get that box of checking that box of being that savior for people and being that person that helps them.
Yeah, or any kind of coach.
Yeah, or any kind of coach. But instead, like it's within the means that you're able to accomplish. And I think that is something that I think that's
also rewarding.
That's also rewarding,
because you can feel good about what you do.
Because like, not to get super political, but I do think that's where like things like bad cops come around. It's like, what is your motivation for becoming a cop? Is it to help people? Is it financial? Is it whatever? And are those really the best reasons to go into those fields? And if it's not to help people, or if it's not to like elevate the community in which you're serving, like if you don't get satisfaction from that,
not because you were bullied in high school and you want to carry a gun,
have a power
and be tough.
complex,
that's
or like, I don't care about law and order. I just really want the financial benefits of being a cop. It's like, well, that's not really maybe.
I look cool in a bulletproof vest.
Yeah, it's like maybe that's not quite the field or the reasons to go into those fields, But if you do have a savior complex and you do find a great amount of emotional satisfaction from helping people, it's like, okay, cool. Now we can work with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, right.
You still need those walls. You still need, those parameters and that self-preservation piece. You still got to learn that.
Stay above that line.
You still got to learn that stuff, but you're at least going into a field that you're helping people that actively want help and are asking for help.
Yeah. And that'll, I feel like with the guilt part, like it'll give you it'll make you feel a lot less guilt on yourself. Like, oh, if I walk away, like that's selfish of me to do. Like I shouldn't leave this person like this. Like, no, now you can get into a field where you understand that, okay, this is my job. This is how I'm going to help this person. You can set goals, timelines, things like that. You can work with the person, consistently.
That's actually a good point about the guilt piece too. Yeah. Like if you go into those fields for those reasons, it does remove the guilt piece out of it. You know,
you won't because feel like now, a bad person.
Because now you're not really falling short because it is a process in helping these people, and like that process is something you do for a living now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, versus like the instantaneous, like, oh, I'm helping someone right now, and I didn't help them today, so fuck. It's like, now, like your job is to help a lot of people in the long term people.
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Okay. No, I was just going to say that.
Dude, hell yeah. Love that one. Save your complexes, man. I get them. I feel them. I'll let you read another one. We've been kind of flying by. We might not even get through all the stories we pulled today, but you know, let's hear another one of yours.
I don't know who I am without the hustle. That one hits.
This is one we hear a lot of. Yeah. Let's deep dive, baby.
Okay. I'm 26 and burned out. I work 2 jobs, freelance at night, and somehow still feel like I'm behind. If I stop moving, I feel guilty. Rest feels like failure. I used to think this grind would pay off, but now I'm wondering what I'm even chasing.
Nice.
I don't even remember the last time I just did something for fun. I don't date. I don't travel. I barely sleep. My friends think I'm driven, but honestly, I think I'm just scared. Scared of being still and realizing I don't like who I am and I'm not producing.
Alrighty. The hustle, man. The goal setting, the small goals. I feel like that. I feel bad because sometimes I'm like, oh God, the solution to a lot of these problems is just like reasonable goal setting. But there's obviously some nuances underlying there too.
I think when it comes to that, like when you do it for so long, I think I spent like most of my 20s doing it. It becomes an addiction.
Yeah.
Right. It's like it falls in that category because you're so used to it. You're just so like at first it's what he said. You're driven, right? You're driven to the outcome. Right. Like I'm going to get here. I want this. I want that. I want this. But when it takes you a certain point, like say you're doing it for like 5, 6, 7 years, working 2 jobs, like doing this and that, it's like it becomes who you are at some point.
Yeah.
Right? Because they go, no, this is who I am. I grind. Like, you know, I work
I'm
hard.
a hustler. I'm a grinder. I'm a survivor.
Yeah. I do what people can't do. Right. Like, and that's what you keep telling yourself. Yeah. It's like, it becomes a big part of your personality. And it's like hard to kind of hack that part off once you get too deep into it.
No, it's true. Like it's the endorphin rush you get from accomplishing goals is such a high. It's something I kind of like equivocate to like the runner's high that people talk about. It's like when you're running and you finally like you hit that threshold of like when it feels easy. Right. It's like that adrenaline rush of like, dude, I did something that like not a lot of people can do. Right. And it's the same with the hustle and grind. I know we relate to a lot of things to fitness and activity, but that's just the world Ron and I come from. But like it's true about everything, right? Like milestones with goals, relationships, getting married, having kids, promotions, the corporate ladder, shit like that. You know, and it's something that like you have to create realistic goals around and understand that you're accomplishing little goals every day, and the big ones that are held on these pedestals that we put on aren't as frequent as when we're younger or when you know you have no experience and now all of a sudden you're acquiring all this stuff. Like eventually there's going to come a time when the experience that you gather is going to slow down unless you truly shift gears into something different completely, right?
Right.
And I'm a firm believer that the best thing you can do is truly subject yourself to something you've never experienced before, because you start to create a pathway for your life where like all of a sudden you're starting back at square one or square zero again. And everything you learn about that thing is new and is a milestone.
Go back to the drawing board.
Exactly. When I got into fitness, it was probably when I first started into fitness, it was probably the most exciting time because like I came from a place of like, I was like a kid growing up who went to the gym every so often, but ultimately like I was a dancer. So I was always performing or whatever. And that was my main source of activity. But it's like when I got into fitness the first time and I started learning about Zumba, about spin, about aqua fitness, about personal training, it was like everything was so new. So it felt like every day was exciting.
Yeah.
But now that I've been doing it for damn near 10 years, it's like that skill acquiring phase slows down and it starts to be like, okay, well, now that I'm not accomplishing as much as I was early on, like
starts feeling a little mundane.
Yeah, it starts to feel like, you know, it's every couple of years you hit a milestone versus like goddamn every day, every week, right? I'd go to like different trainings and every single one would inspire me because I was like learning something new because it's stuff I'd never heard before. But eventually you start to hear the same things over and over again, and then it starts to get boring.
Yeah.
So like subject yourself to something completely new.
Yeah, I think a lot of something a lot of people do is they mistake the motion for meaning. Right? Like it's like, okay, I'm doing so many things, so I got to be accomplishing something. Instead of like, okay, do something that has purpose behind it. Right? You don't need to work 80 hours a week, 3 jobs just to feel like you're accomplishing something, right? No, like just whatever you're passionate about, whatever your purpose is, work towards that. And that's going to be a lot more meaningful than just doing stuff to do stuff. Right? Yeah. And it's hard to get out of that. Like, I mean, my 20s, I was working 60 hours a week, sometimes 2 jobs, 60 to 80, it's like, cause you just feel like, no, I have to do this because you feel guilty. Like taking a day off, having a weekend, dude, you feel guilty.
There was like a good, like 5 to 6 year span where like, I don't know if I think I may have worked almost every major holiday. Oh yeah. Because it was just like, dude, if I'm here, dude, I got to make money.
Right. Yeah, now it's like, I don't know what to do with myself sometimes. Weekends off? What? I just had a 3-day weekend. Dude. Yeah, right. What? You mean I can go enjoy myself?
I got PTO, PTO that I could actually use.
Yeah. Oh, because when you're in certain fields, like you're like, yeah, you get 2 weeks a year, but you get guilt tripped into not using them. Do you really? Yeah. It's like, oh, you want to take a vacation, but like, you're going to leave us high and dry. Like we need the help. Like,
you're going to come back to twice as much of the workload than when you had.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
And that's the shitty thing.
Like when I used to work in the restaurant field, like, oh yeah, you'd be like, oh, I'm taking a vacation. Like you can give them 6-month notice. You say any time between June and September, it was like, oh, we'll see if we can fit it in kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like maybe.
And then you get punished for going on vacation, right? Like if you were, hey, I'm going to go on vacation this week. The entire week before and the entire week after, you got to get the worst shifts.
Yeah, you're getting all the shit because like everyone, because like whether it be your managers or coworkers are always like, well, we're covering for you, so at least you can do this shit. It's like, so I have to suffer before I actually like enjoy anything.
Yeah,
but honestly, so that is a weird kind of pattern to find yourself into because then you start to create that pattern for yourself where it's like, oh, I leave in a week, so I should suffer this week, the week before,
just to make yourself feel like not guilty when you're gone and enjoying yourself.
Yeah, dude, that is so fucking real.
It's so fucked up. So glad I left that industry.
Honestly, I hear you, dude. I hear you. And like, I've definitely had those jobs too, where it's like, the whole time you're gone, you're just thinking like, oh God, no one is there doing any of what I do. So I'm just coming back to the shittiest situation. I'm literally coming back to a nightmare and needing to work twice as long. Just to make up for the week I was gone. Yeah. It's stupid, brother. It's stupid. But back to like this person specifically, it's if financial milestones are the only ones you're setting for yourself, you are setting yourself up for failure a little bit. Yeah, because those there's just we're all very like we just live in a world where everyone is very stingy with money. They want to hold on to it for as long as they can. They want to pay people as little as they have to get stuff done, and
you're gonna stress yourself out about it.
Yeah, you're gonna just keep stressing yourself out. You can't
keep chasing the dollar. And like I know, like everyone needs money. Where this economy's at, we could all use more of it. But just don't chase that. Like chase something that you're passionate about, and then when you get into it and you love what you do, and then the money comes, like you're gonna feel a lot better than being stuck. Like when I was stuck in the restaurant industry, dude, it sucked. Did it pay good at the time? Yeah,
sure. You probably had some weeks better than others.
Exactly,
for sure.
Yeah. But no, like I should have left sooner. I should have left a lot sooner.
So for this person, like. Really true. I truly believe subject yourselves to something where you have to start at ground zero because you're going to get that rush of everything feeling new and every skill you learn in that world is exciting and not everything might excite you at first. You might need to try a couple different things before you're like, okay, cool. This even just generally sparks my interest. I want to keep learning about this. And then you're going to get that endorphin rush again of like, oh my God, everything's freaking new. Every day I dive into this thing. It's exciting. And see how that feels because you might learn, you're going to learn a lot about yourself, about like things that you had no idea that you could even be interested in. I did indoor skydiving like a couple weeks ago. And like, I'll be honest, like for one, way harder than it looks.
Really?
It's really fun, way harder than it looks. But like to get from a point where like the fan is hitting you, right? And you're like unstable and you're not able to stay flat and you're flying everywhere to finally getting to the point where you're able to like lay flat and you're like able to just like float and suspend in air and not have someone hold on to you to like level your body out. Like that itself was kind of cool because then it's all of a sudden like it's like I learned how to do something in that moment and just in that one session, right? To where it's something I'm excited to go do again. Shout out to iFly.
I was gonna say, where'd you go to do it?
So I I applied to be to work. Yeah, this is gonna sound really weird. I actually really enjoy applying for jobs. I really enjoy it. I don't always love like you need to go online and put in all your information, but like because I tend to apply for jobs that are very weird. To be honest with you, like it means the interview process is kind of cool. So like I applied for iFly. Because I just needed a day job and I'm, money's tight, all the usual shit we all experience. But something the location here did as like part of my interview process is like they wanted me to come in and experience it. And they're like, cool, then we'll interview and we'll chat. And it was like, for one, the guy was super cool. Because I ended up calling him up and saying like, hey, I don't think this job is going to work for me for X, Y, or Z. But he was like, you know what? I already scheduled you to come in, dude. He's like, might as well just come in and do it anyway. Just have a good time. And then if maybe you'll at least tell your friends and we'll get business. And I was like, dope. And I went in and
such a positive way to look at it too.
Yeah.
He was just like, yeah, cool.
He was like, I already scheduled the time. So you might as well just still do it.
Come and enjoy it at least.
Meet me. Like maybe I could sell you on it. But if not, like at least maybe you'll tell people, which here I am talking about it. Yeah. But it was so cool to do it that way and to interview and to experience that because I'll be honest, it did kind of sell me on it. Like I was sitting with him afterwards and he was like, yeah, this is the process. And the big turnoff for why I didn't do it is because there's certain certifications for people who educate people on how to do this. And I guess there's not many people in the US that do those types of educations. And one of them lives in Texas. So they wanted to like relocate me to Texas for like 4 months to do this education and then come back here and work for them. And I was like, I got too much stuff cooking, man. I got my other job. I got my family. I got, this podcast we're working on. I was like, I don't know if I could dedicate 4 months to living somewhere else just to learn this. And but he was like, he kind of just like sat me down. He's like, I'll still tell you about it. He's like, I do have someone who I guess lives somewhere else who's relocating to Chicago who does these educations. And he's like, I'd love to hit you up, 4 months from now when that person moves back, maybe we reopen this and we talk about it because it was just to know that like learning a new skill and to be on the ground floor or starting at square zero for something and to be able to like develop a skill was so exciting just in like I think I was there for like maybe 2 hours. But to learn that in the moment was exciting. And it did. Like, I'll be honest, if he calls me up like in November and like I'm not too busy, like, and I have the availability, like shit, dude, why not?
Why not? Yeah.
Do it for the story at least. You know what I mean? And I'll say like it was a feeling that I hadn't gotten in a long time outside of obviously this podcast project, but it's a feeling I hadn't gotten from fitness in a long time. That feeling of like I am a student and I'm learning something and I'm accomplishing something and can. So do it. Like put yourself in uncomfortable situations. Find something truly new because like I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I truly did, and I learned something about myself. And that's such a fucking cool
thing about doing new things is you start
learning
fucking
cool feeling.
Yeah. And it's like, the sense of satisfaction of just like doing something new.
Yeah.
And then when you accomplish it, it's like, there's just so much like adrenaline, excitement, like just going through you. And it's like, that was awesome.
And then like after we kind of all did our sessions, like our like really basic stuff, the person who was like leading the group for us goes into and he's doing all these flips and doing these like all this cool stuff. And like, just to be like, have learned that one skill that I learned, like just being able to like suspend in air without needing to be held or like not feeling like I'm going chaotic out of control, to see like what he's doing and be like, oh my God, if I did this more, I can do that cool shit. Like all of a sudden I was so fucking psyched and I was like, yo, this is something that I could see myself doing a couple times a month or a couple times a week, even like just like living, doing, breathing this. And like to feel that kind of passion and that kind of excitement for something is something that is so, it's just so fucking cool, dude, to feel that way about stuff. And it ebbs and flows, you know what I mean? Like the people who work there probably don't feel that way about it. But for someone who's new, who has the opportunity to potentially explore that side of himself, like it's fucking cool, dude.
Have you ever went skiving before?
No, but after doing this, I totally want to. I'm like, this
is it a
cool,
similar
man.
Feeling?
It's definitely. I obviously, since I haven't been skydiving, I really can't compare the two. But I could tell you, like doing this indoor skydiving, like it feels like it's an environment where it's like you feel truly safe in, but like still get that like you learn the maneuverability. So you really can focus like on how your body movements adjust how your body like moves in space while it's suspended in air. Whereas like I think in true skydiving, it's a little bit more challenging to feel it, especially in tandem skydiving. But like in actual skydiving, I imagine it's elevated up to 11 because you're literally propelling towards the ground. Yeah.
Now, so when you're there, do you start on the ground and it just lifts you up, or do you jump off or something?
No, so the fan is like kicked up, right? Yeah. And I think depending on your body weight, they adjust the level of this fan. But like essentially, you're in the doorway, and there's a person that like if you're standing straight up, the fan isn't really propelling you up at all. So there's someone in there who's like just standing, and essentially what you do is you just freaking face plant forward, and the fan just like picks you up. And like every single movement your hand, legs, body does is like shifting your body left, right, front, back. So like you have to like learn where your hands and where your legs have to be in order to just suspend in space still. Because if you adjust your hands forward or back, you're moving forward, you're moving back, you're moving forward, you're moving back. If you're too close, your hands are too far, like the wind isn't able to pick you up. So you have to find that position of where the wind can catch your body and suspend you in space. And to find that in the moment was so fucking cool. Yeah. And that's what the guy who interviewed kind of said. He was like, yeah, like the fact that you were able to like get that in one session was pretty damn good. And it's like, I'll fucking hire you if you want. I was like, dope, dude. You know, and like, obviously that's like an extreme example of something very niche, but like, you know, for this guy who is missing the hustle. Like that hustle could be anything, dude. Like,
just be thrill.
Yeah, dude. Go camping, dude. Some people get thrilled at, and like that might be something you know nothing about, but find a Facebook group of people who can give you a resource and give you advice on what equipment you need, and then fucking do it, and then see if you want to learn more about it. If not, try something different.
Something else. Like,
try something different.
Right.
Dude, try mountain biking. Be like, you know what? I learned how to how to set up a mountain bike and how to like find good trails and maneuver. Like, then if that was a skill you really enjoyed learning, dude, learn more of that shit, dude.
Yeah. One thing I want to do is I want to work on cars. I want to it would be a cool thing to have my own garage. Not necessarily just like, open it up and like work on other people's cars, like the profit from it, but like just to have my own where like I'm, getting the car in, working on it, fixing it up, selling it. Like, building it, that would be really cool.
Dude, always hustle for new skills. I often don't think it's like the hustle that you miss. It's learning new skills that you miss.
Well, yeah, exactly. You know, like that's why, I'd go with my brother. We'd go shoot guns. Like that was cool. Doing archery. That's really cool. That's hard at first.
Dude, for one, it looks hard. Yeah. It looks hard as it is, but like I can only imagine it's
super fun, man. It's super cool. You ever see the show Arrow?
I've not. No,
okay,
no.
So it's
I'm
like
familiar.
Okay, so you know who he is, right?
Yeah,
the guy, that's how I felt, man.
It's a real Hawkeye shit.
Yeah. I'd be like, I'm a superhero.
Oh hell yeah, dude! Do all the fucking.
It
cool
makes
shit.
you want to live your vigilante life,
dude. Hell
like,
yeah!
Like after
you want to get some Robin Hood vibes going.
Yeah,
dude.
like I did it like 2 or 3 times, and after that, I was like, okay, I gotta go get a hood. Yeah, I gotta go.
I gotta get the whole outfit, dude.
The whole outfit. I'm gonna be running around town at like midnight.
Chicago's Legolas up in here, dude. But yeah, find new skills, man. That's our hot take. Just find some new skills, man. You'll make some new friends probably along the way.
Right. And just remember that you may love the grind, but the grind does not love you back.
Nah, the grind. She's a cruel mistress, bruh.
Yeah, you're right.
But I mean, I think that's quite a few Reddit stories today. Ron, any parting words before we call it an episode?
I just think like whatever makes you passionate about life is what you should really chase. Don't chase things that people expect out of you. Don't try to live a life that is just that everybody expects you to live, right? Yeah. The whole don't let people set timelines for you, right? Like if you're 30, you're not married, you don't have a house, who cares? Yeah, right? Like this is a different time. Like whatever makes you feel good about being alive is what you should do.
Hell yeah.
And this is another thing. It's like, okay, when it comes to life, like in those situations, if my favorite car is a Porsche and yours is a Lamborghini, how are you going to feel if I try to tell you that your favorite car is a Porsche, right? Oh, you should make a Porsche your favorite car because of this, right?
Yeah. Who cares, dude?
Think of a shit that way. Like not everyone's favorite color is red. Not everyone's favorite pair of shoes are Nikes. Like not everybody, when they consider traveling, want to travel to the same state.
Yeah.
So why does everybody have to have the same exact timeline?
Honestly, facts, brother.
Yeah. So live your life the way you want to. Don't let nobody else judge you. Don't let nobody else put pressure on you to do things their way. Your life, your call.
Couldn't agree more, man. Focus on what you love. And if you don't know what you love, get comfortable being uncomfortable and find that thing.
Yeah.
Find it, dude. Risk it to get the biscuit.
Yeah. Get out of your comfort zone.
Hell yeah.
Shit.
do some
Go be a
shit.
vigilante.
Yeah, dude. Go throw on a hood. maybe don't do that. Maybe scratch that. But play vigilante all you want. Learn the skills of a vigilante. That shit's kind of cool, dude. Take a mixed martial arts, take an archery class, like shit.
Martial arts is awesome, man.
Yeah.
The martial arts is awesome. Boxing is awesome. Do something like if you for anything that has aggression or violence in a sport.
Yeah,
dude.
Chug a white monster, punch some drywall.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Dude. Okay, Kyle.
Just kidding.
But that's my advice on it. That's my 2 cents.
Hey, well, as always, guys, thank you so much for tuning into Out of the Rut. This is Xavier.
And this is Ron.
If you ever want to submit your own stories, reach out to us to OutoftheRut.com or OutoftheRut@yahoo.com. Do not go to Out of the Rut.
Or DM us on our Instagram. It's not really like great and like super set up yet, but like we still get them.
Yeah, we still read them. We still check them out. Yeah, we're growing progress. And, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow, wherever you're listening to this. Do whatever feedback, review medium that platform lets you do, and help us out. Help the algorithm. Also, it's something that I don't think about. If you know someone who's in a rut, share our podcast with them. Yeah. Hell, you don't even have to be the one in the rut. Maybe you just know someone, whether it's your child, whether it's your parent, grandparent, whatever. Like, dude, send them our way. We want to hear from them. We want to help them out. Dude.
Yeah, exactly.
But that is all we have today. Y'all stay lit, never quit. And we'll catch you on the next episode.